In the quiet town of Amityville, a gruesome real-life horror unfolded. The year was 1974. A chilling tale began to take shape inside a quaint Dutch colonial house on Ocean Avenue. The DeFeo family, who once filled the home with life, was brutally extinguished in the dead of night. The eldest son, Ronald DeFeo Jr., was found guilty of the chilling murders. Claiming voices in the house drove him to the unthinkable act. This horrifying event seared itself into the collective consciousness, inspiring the creation of the iconic horror movie, The Amityville Horror. But the tale didn't end with the DeFeo family. A year after the murders, the Lutz family moved into the house, hopeful for a fresh start. Little did they know they were stepping into a real-life horror story. The Lutz family began to experience strange, terrifying occurrences. Swarms of flies, despite it being the dead of winter, inexplicable cold spots, and a mysterious, cloven-hoofed creature haunting their young daughter. Their dream home quickly turned into a nightmare. The family's dog, Harry, would growl at unseen entities, and a priest who came to bless the house was warned by a disembodied voice to get out. Despite their harrowing experiences, the Lutz family's ordeal was met with skepticism. Many claimed it was a clever hoax, a publicity stunt to capitalize on the DeFeo family's gruesome demise. But the Lutzes stood by their story, insisting their fear was real, their experiences genuine. So what was it? A house possessed by demonic entities, or simply a family's overactive imagination fueled by the knowledge of the home's terrifying history? The answer remains elusive, shrouded in mystery and speculation. But one thing is certain. The chilling tale of the Amityville house continues to captivate and terrify, proving the truth can indeed be stranger and scarier than fiction. As it turns out, reality can be just as horrifying, if not more, than fiction. Have you ever wondered where the creators of The Exorcist got their spine-chilling ideas? The inspiration, my friends, comes from a tale as disturbing as the film itself. It's the real-life exorcism of a young boy known pseudonymously as Roland Doe. Now you might be scratching your heads thinking, surely it wasn't as horrific as the film. Well, let's dive into it. In the late 1940s, Roland was just an ordinary boy living in Maryland. That was until he started to exhibit strange and terrifying behaviors. Objects would move inexplicably around him, religious artifacts seemed to repel him, and his body would convulse in unnatural ways. The local clergy, having exhausted all logical explanations, concluded that Roland was possessed by a malevolent entity, and thus began the harrowing exorcism. In the film The Exorcist, we see the protagonist Regan, a young girl tormented by demonic possession. Her transformation from an innocent child to a monstrous entity is unnerving, to say the least. The violent convulsions, the grotesque physical changes, and the blasphemous outbursts are all elements that create a chilling cinematic experience. But how does this compare to Roland Doe's ordeal? Well, the accounts of Roland's exorcism are in fact just as unsettling. Witnesses reported the boy exhibiting superhuman strength, his body contorting in ways that defied explanation, and guttural voices emanating from him. Just as in the film, the process was grueling, extending over several weeks, with multiple exorcisms performed. However, there are differences too. Unlike in the movie, there was no dramatic ending with the demon being cast out. Instead, Roland's exorcism ended abruptly, with him returning to normal as if nothing had happened. His later life was reportedly uneventful, a stark contrast to the tumultuous period of his possession. So while The Exorcist may have exaggerated some aspects for cinematic effect, the essence of the horror was very much rooted in reality. The real-life story of Roland Doe served as a chilling reminder that sometimes truth can be stranger and indeed scarier than fiction. The line between fact and fiction can sometimes blur in the world of horror. Do you believe in the paranormal? The haunting in Connecticut might make you reconsider. Our journey into the eerie world of the paranormal takes us to the tale of the Snedeker family. The Snedekers moved into what they thought was an ordinary house in Southington, Connecticut, in the mid-80s. Unbeknownst to them, their new abode had once served as a mortuary, a chilling detail they discovered only after they'd settled in. Imagine living in a place once filled with the deceased, a place where the line between life and death had been blurred daily. The Snedekers didn't have to imagine, they lived it. Their experiences in that house were so terrifying and so beyond the realm of the ordinary that they inspired the horror movie The Haunting in Connecticut. The family reported horrifying incidents, from seeing strange ghostly figures to experiencing unexplainable and chilling phenomena. The mother, Carmen Snedeker, claimed to have seen water turning blood red and felt unseen hands touching her. Her son, suffering from cancer, was said to be the most affected, with terrifying encounters with the paranormal becoming a part of his daily existence. The movie, of course, took some creative liberties, adding elements of demonic possession and exorcism to heighten the horror. But the real-life experiences of the Snedekers were no less terrifying. They reached out to paranormal investigators, Ed and Lorraine Warren, whose involvement added a layer of credibility to their claims. The Snedekers' ordeal raises questions about the existence of the paranormal, about the thin veil that separates our world from the one beyond. Their experiences force us to reconsider our beliefs, to entertain the possibility of the unknown, of a world beyond our understanding, a world that might not be as far removed from ours as we'd like to believe. Whether you're a believer or a skeptic, the tale of the Snedeker family and the haunting in Connecticut serves as a chilling reminder that sometimes truth can indeed be stranger than fiction. Ed and Lorraine Warren, renowned paranormal investigators, have a much more complex story than what the Conjure series portrays. Indeed, these two dedicated their lives to investigating the paranormal, their names becoming synonymous with some of the most notorious cases of hauntings and demonic possessions. The Warrens' journey into the paranormal realm started in the late 1940s, long before the Hollywood spotlight shone on their work. Their investigations spanned over 4 decades, covering a whopping 10,000 cases. Yes, you heard that right, 10,000 cases. Their work was not just about chasing ghosts or battling demons, it was about helping those tormented by forces beyond our comprehension. Now, when it comes to the Conjuring series, the films take a good amount of creative liberty. For instance, the first Conjuring film revolves around the haunting of the Perron family. While the movie showcases a dramatic exorcism, the real-life Warrens actually performed a séance, not an exorcism. A subtle difference, but a difference nonetheless. Similarly, in The Conjuring 2, the Warrens are depicted as the main investigators of the Enfield poltergeist case. However, in reality, they were not the lead investigators, and their involvement was minimal. Hollywood, it seems, loves to dramatize. Despite these discrepancies, the essence of the Warrens' work remains intact in the series. The portrayal of their dedication, courage, and unwavering belief in the paranormal mirrors their real-life personas. The Conjuring series might amplify the horror and drama for cinematic effect, but it doesn't stray too far from the actual experiences of those involved. Ed and Lorraine Warren's work has left an indelible mark on the field of paranormal investigation, and their stories continue to captivate us, whether it's through their own accounts or Hollywood's interpretation of their cases. The truth behind the Conjuring series is even more intriguing than the movies themselves. Reality and horror cinema, two worlds that often intertwine, creating chilling tales that continue to haunt us. We've journeyed through the eerie corridors of real-life horror stories and their cinematic counterparts, leaving no stone unturned. We began our exploration with a chilling tale from real life. It was a story that sent shivers down our spines, not merely for its raw terror, but for its uncanny resemblance to the plots we've seen on our screens. It was a stark reminder that sometimes life can be as terrifying as fiction. Then we delved into the realm of fact or fiction. The line between them often blurs in horror cinema. We discovered that some of the most spine-chilling films are rooted in real events, giving the phrase "based on a true story" a whole new meaning. It's not just a marketing ploy, but a testament to the reality that inspired the reel. Our journey took a supernatural turn as we ventured into the world of paranormal phenomena. Whether it's haunted houses or ghostly apparitions, these phenomena often serve as a goldmine for horror filmmakers. Real or not, they've had a significant impact on our perception of horror. We then stepped into the lives of the real Warrens, a couple whose experiences have shaped some of the most iconic horror films. Their encounters with the supernatural have not only intrigued us, but also made us question the boundaries of our reality. In conclusion, horror cinema and reality are often two sides of the same coin. They feed off each other, creating a terrifying loop that continues to fascinate and frighten us. The horror we see on screen is not always pure fiction. Sometimes it's a distorted reflection of real-world horrors. Remember, the next time you watch a horror movie, the real story might just be lurking in the shadows, waiting to be discovered.